I hate long intros, man. Y'all can read the title. Let's get into it.
Nope. It's terrible. We have to stop them. Not yet.
This one's gonna be a fun one, y'all. But to start off, I'm not in the usual setting. Surprise. This is actually a green screen. I'm not sure how well it works. Probably not good at all because I got it at Party City, but I'll see in editing. So yes, I'm not in the apartment, back in the childhood home, as evidenced by the Hassan Whiteside calendar from 2018. But anyways, excuse the rough background. Kind of fit because the Heat had a rough week. Here's the scores right here. They went 2-3. But anyways, of course, the Hassan Whiteside calendar is a little bit of foreshadowing because the Heat faced off twice against the Utah Jazz this week. I'm going to combine both those games because they were virtually the exact same. The Heat got a giant lead and then tried their best to blow it at the end. We were hoping for a good game because Utah was also widely looked at as one of the best teams in the league, along with Miami. So it was nice to see competitive battles and the Heat actually able to pull out both, especially the second game, which just ended like 30 minutes ago because they didn't have Jimmy that game. So it was a big-time win on the road, one that I didn't think they'd get. And again, I know I'm a bad Heat fan because a lot of times I be thinking they're going to lose. They did their best to blow the lead, which is concerning. It's starting to become a trend. No. It's continuing to be a trend because they did that a lot last year too. They won both those games. A win is a win. What I want to talk about is something that I've been waiting to talk about for a long time, is Rudy Gobert. I hate Rudy Gobert. If we're ranking NBA players that I hate, Rudy Gobert is at the tip top. Let's say we got Rudy Gobert, and then I'm going to say Rondo, and we'll go like Pat Bev right here. We'll go Pat Bev. But Rudy Gobert is number one. He is such a crybaby, and I cannot stand that dude. And I have been saying for years, that Rudy Gobert is not a good defender. He's a good shot blocker, and there's a difference. And I don't even know if he's a good shot blocker. His numbers are good, but he hacks everybody. He's allowed to get away with anything. The verticality, like the old Roy Hibbert rule. Man, Rudy Gobert sucks. And I was delighted to see last year people finally see that Rudy Gobert actually does suck. He is so slow, and anybody that thinks that he's better than Bam Adebayo is stupid. I don't know. I don't even have any other words. They're stupid. I've been saying it for years, and I'm glad the world is finally starting to see it. Now, my disdain for Rudy Gobert actually started back because of Hassan Whiteside. Now, I'm a big Hassan Whiteside stan, so I'm going to go on a little bit of an anecdote here. For the Heat fans that didn't turn me off after I said I like Hassan Whiteside, I appreciate it. Because I know 90-ish% of Heat Nation hates Hassan Whiteside. And okay, I know your reasons. I'm not going to dispute them, okay? He cares about his stats too much, and he didn't try after he got paid. I understand that. But I fell in love with Hassan Whiteside because he came out of nowhere and he was so exciting to watch. I always said he was the only player I ever seen that could get hot with blocking shots. For, players get hot shooting threes, he got hot blocking shots. I fell in love with Hassan Whiteside then, and I've been riding with him since. Now, I know all of Heat Nation has been rats off a ship on Hassan Whiteside. I'm still on it. That's my dog. He always will be. And I was fighting for Whiteside back then, saying he was one of the top centers in the league, saying that he was better than Rudy Gobert. Now, yes, they're similar, and they're both considered shot blockers, but I don't see Rudy Gobert getting triple doubles, plural doubles with blocks. Hassan Whiteside got about 4 or 5 of those things, okay? I was in the camp that said Spoelstra didn't use Whiteside right. I actually thought Whiteside had a bit of an offensive game. I think you could give him the ball in the post, and he had a little jump hook he could go to. Now, he would get stripped 50% of the time Whiteside dribbled. I know that, Heat fans, so don't get mad at me. But the other 50% of the time, I thought he would score. But Rudy Gobert had no offensive game whatsoever. And the fact that people said he was better than Hassan Whiteside back then really it really bothered me. And then there was the whole thing with, it was either Evan Fournier or something saying you only care about your stats, or maybe Gobert said it, and one of the two was like, oh, are you talking about Belancote? Basically Whiteside in Spanish or whatever. I'm like, keep my dog's name out your mouth. When you get a triple-double with blocks, then you could talk about him, okay? So I've hated Rudy Gobert ever since then, and since I've actually been paying attention to watching him, I realized how really bad a defender he is. He's a good shot blocker, not a good defender. There's a difference. And don't get me started on the people nowadays that say Rudy Gobert is better than Bam Adebayo. Oh, he's not better defensively. Certainly not better offensively. Don't even get me started on that, okay? By the way, not only do I have the Hassan Whiteside calendar from 2018, but I also have this that I made when I was a kid. It's a Big Three poster. And yes, I cut out a picture of Hassan Whiteside and taped it right over LeBron James, included the name, and I still have it up. So I just think that's really funny. So I hate Rudy Gobert, and I'm glad that the Heat shut him down. It was funny because in the first game, actually, Hassan Whiteside's the one that closed. And he never closed for Miami, towards his later years here. So overall, good performances, even though they almost blew it at the end. But they got the dub. I'm happy about it. The next game I want to talk about is probably the most exciting game of the week. Y'all saw it in the thumbnail. It was the game versus the Denver Nuggets. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I went to bed at halftime because your boy needed to
get some sleep.
But also, that game is exactly how I expected. Yes, I know another game I expected the Heat to lose, but I'm sure most Heat fans did. All right, so hear me out. Every game, it's the inevitable loss in Denver. They have a legal error. What are you going to do about it? They were down 15 at halftime. I had work early the next day. I said, you know what? I'm not staying up for this. Lo and behold, though, I wake up the next day, got 100 notifications on my phone. Well, actually, I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn on the radio. I'm going to listen to my boys Tobin and Leroy in Miami. I'm going to see what happened. 30 seconds into the show, they're talking about a melee. So I'm like, okay, let me check Twitter. Let me see what happened. Then, of course, I saw the Markieff Morris and Nikola Jokic scuffle. I'm going to be unbiased here. Yes, Markieff did do a hard foul on Jokic, okay? He did start it. But again, that's all it is. It was a hard foul by Markieff Morris. What Nikola Jokic did is completely unacceptable. Not only did his big self shove his forearm into Markieff's spine, could have fractured it, but the whiplash that we know Markieff has now, he could have snapped his neck. He is so lucky Markieff is okay. But you know what? And yeah, I saw the Heat loss when I woke up the next morning. But you know what? When I watched the highlights, when I checked Twitter, I loved it. Oh, I loved it so much. This team is back to being hated, and that's exactly what they needed to wake them up. All of Twitter was on Jokic's side. Of course, all of Denver, they were chanting MVP after Jokic did that, which is just disgusting. But everybody was on Denver's side. Nobody likes the Miami Heat. And I love it because we all know as Heat fans, that's exactly how the Heat want to be treated. And I loved how quickly they came to Markieff's back. Okay, a guy who has just been on the team, first year on the team. As soon as he got hit, we saw Tyler come at it. We saw Bam run in. And I just love to see how quickly this team has each other's back, which is something we knew, but I'm telling y'all, that goes a long way come playoff time. So I just love to see it, especially for a new guy who just got here. So thank God Markieff is okay. And man, we got a great picture out of it. Y'all know the picture I'm talking about with the Heat waiting in the locker room and Andy Ellisberg standing there. I saw some people say, oh yeah, Denver security stopped them. No. That's not Denver security. You know how it's not Denver security? Because my dog got a championship ring on. And Denver knows nothing about championship rings, okay? Andy Ellisberg, by the way, the GOAT, salary cap wizard, salary cap god, okay? So shout out to Andy Ellisberg for being part of a dope picture. And I loved, okay, let's talk about this. Caron Butler was in the picture. Our assistant coach, Caron Butler, was in the picture. That just shows how tough this team is, I saw people on Twitter talking about, oh, what happens when Jimmy gets in the locker room and he sees Jokic brothers there? We saw what's going to happen. The whole entire Miami Heat team is going to be there to scuffle. We ain't scared. We had our assistant coach in there. Caron Butler was going to jail as a kid, as a 15-year-old kid fighting grown men in prison. The Jokic brothers are going to prison for something else, okay? I'm just going to leave it at that. But for the Jokic brothers to go on Twitter and act like they so tough, they are nothing compared to Udonis Haslem. Udonis Haslem will beat them with one hand tied behind his back. I want to curse on this channel so bad, but I told myself I'm going to keep it clean. But just know what Jokic did is not okay. The Jokic brothers do not scare me at all. And November 29th, mark it on the calendar, I hope they come down here and they better not run into Udonis Haslem. They better not. Okay, I thought it was funny too, going back to the picture. Udonis Haslem wasn't in the picture, and they said it's because he's already in the hallway. And that's actually pretty funny because Andy Ellisberg been here long enough to know don't get in Haslem's way. So I just thought it was funny that Haslem was able to get past. At least that's what we heard. But we got a dope picture out of it. The Heat lost that game. Whatever. Denver got a legal error. They never went in there. November 29th, Denver comes here. Let's see what's going to happen. And next, we got two stupid games in LA versus the Lakers and Clippers. Two stupid games, two ugly games, two stupid losses. Actually, my first bullet point for the Clippers game was actually just screw this game. But I'll get into that game second. First, I'm going to talk about the game versus the Lakers. Again, weird game. Of course, Markieff Morris was out with a whiplash, and Dedmon and Bam got early fouls. So we actually saw UD come in, which was cool. He wasn't great. Hit his mid-range jumper, though. That made me smile a lot. Omer came in. My boy Omer came in. Love to see it. Got a few good minutes. Had a nice dunk. I'm telling y'all, Omer Yurtsevic's season starts in January. He will be in the starting lineup. Make sure y'all don't forget that. But it was weird because we saw a lineup of Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, and Haslem. Not something I expected to see, at least not this early in the season. So it was just a weird game overall. Then, of course, Jimmy rolled his ankle early on, which is concerning. He hasn't came back yet. He was actually questionable for the game today against Utah, but he ended up sitting it out, of course. A game I thought the Heat would win because LeBron was out until I remember they had Malik Monk. I even picked Malik Monk up in FanDuel just because I know how much he kills us. He is a Hall of Fame Heat killer once again, and it just continues, and it's ridiculous. But it wasn't even him. You had Avery Bradley hit 4 threes. He didn't even have that many points when he played for the Heat. Did he even score 4 points with the Heat? I don't even know. But he banked in a 3 late. Westbrook banked in a 3 late. And speaking of Westbrook, I mean, we all knew this, but he is stupid. Now, again, don't get me wrong. I'm a big Westbrook fan, but I can't defend what he's doing, especially this year. Not with the turnovers and not with the extra bad late game execution. He just kept pulling jump shot after jump shot. And I know that's something he's done his whole career, but I feel like he's done it a lot more this year. He hit some big shots down the stretch, but that whole fourth quarter and overtime was stupid, man. They were calling offensive fouls on Bam Adebayo, backing dudes down. Westbrook was flopping. Bam did a jab step, AD flopping. They're calling offensive fouls. It was just stupid, man. I mean, yes, it was bad late game execution. Yes, they played stupid. Yes, they missed free throws. Yes, they were terrible, but just the whole game was stupid, man. And it was a bad loss because it went to overtime. I didn't get to bed till like 2 a.m. The game ended at 1 a.m. I just couldn't sleep because of my thoughts until 2 a.m. But it's just a stupid game, man. Same with the Clippers, man. It was nice to see Bam come out strong. I think he had the 19 points in the first quarter. It was nice to see without Jimmy. But then they didn't use him the rest of the game. They were up about 15, but then come the fourth quarter, we were down double digits until Lowry went berserk. I don't know where that came from Kyle Lowry, but it was nice to see a guy that we're paying max money actually be able to step up, you know, when our other max player was out. So at least Lowry was able to do that. But again, it's just a stupid game. Bledsoe making it rain from 3. That's never going to happen again, man. That's just a, you know, if it does happen again, don't clip this. But it's just a stupid game. And again, bad late game execution. They were down 3 at the end, and Spo had PJ Tucker inbound the ball. Why? PJ Tuck, you got Bam, you got Tyler, you got Lowry. Any one of those guys could have made the inbound pass, and you had 5 seconds left. So if you wanted to draw the play for them, you could have got them back the ball. Not only that, but PJ Tucker's their best screener, and you had him inbounding me. He couldn't set the screen, and it was a turnover. Just bad execution. I also have a bullet point about this game about Duncan Robinson, and it is not a nice thing, but I'm not going to say it because Duncan Robinson is still my boy. And as a shooter myself, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I didn't even make this shot, but the picture's still fire. So I completely understand what he's going through, and I have no doubt that he'll get out of it. And I was saying that the whole time, and then today against Utah, he finally had another great game. He shot 6 of 11 from 3, I believe. And as soon as he has one good game or 1 or 2 good games in a row, his confidence is going to be at an all-time high, and he's going to be right back at it. So I'm not concerned about Duncan Robinson at all. But yeah, that covers all the games from this week, man. I just want to say thank y'all because I've been getting a lot of love since the last video. I think we're up about 80 subscribers since the last video, so it's been really awesome to see. So again, if you're new to the channel, first, I promise the background is usually a little better, but also make sure you subscribe because once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I could apply to the YouTube partnership program or at least begin the application process. So it's really huge. If you do enjoy my content, make sure you subscribe, and also feel free to share if you know anybody that would like it, you know. And now that the video is over, you can like it. And you know what? If you didn't like the video, just click off. I mean, I know there's a dislike button, but I ain't, you know, you ain't got to do that. But yeah, also, if you're new here, I try to drop these recap videos at the end of every week and cover all the games between this video and the next one. I've had a lot of comments. Well, not that many people watch these videos, so I've had 2 comments. But I've had 2 comments say I should upload more frequently, maybe twice a week or after every game. It's just a time issue for me. But I promise that I at least have the recap videos up at the end of every week. Actually, I have an idea for some other content I'm going to experiment with. So if it goes well, I'll upload that to this channel as well. But again, thank y'all for all the support. I hope the Heat have a better week next week. We play OKC on Monday. And I like the team. I like Shea. I like Giddy. But again, we should beat that team. So we'll see what happens. If I jinx it, y'all could blame me. Leave a comment down below. I don't care. It helps the algorithm. So, you know, let me know I was wrong, you know. But yeah, you may never see me again. Who knows? I'll see y'all next week or not. See you later. Bye.